They could have chosen, and it's interesting because I only applied to one school, which was Juilliard. I just knew I was going, and my mother said I had to get a college education because if the day came when I didn't make it professionally as a dancer, I needed to have something to fall back on, and that would have been teaching. So I always did both things. I had a professional career, but I always taught. When I was doing the whiz on my night off, I taught dance at New Paltz State University. I'd get on the bus with my son, go up to New Paltz, teach the class, and come back. So I always had that in my life. The teaching, I started at Elma Lewis's school. I sort of like assisted her a bit when I was in high school. So teaching was always a part of my life. And so the school gave me the tools that allowed me to go to Juilliard, that allowed me to go to American Ballet Theater and step into the class and know what I needed to know.
So how was that transition from high school to Juilliard to American Ballet Theater? What was that transition like? How did you prepare for that? What stage of life was
It
that?
was almost seamless. I mean, if you can imagine going into a class where you knew the vocabulary, okay, and my teacher at Elma Lewis made it a point to give us, we learned the Cicchetti technique, and she would also have a Haitian teacher come from Haiti every spring to teach us Haitian dance.
So for the listeners and viewers, can you just give a little preview? What is the Cicchetti technique and what is the Haitian dance?
Well, there are different forms of ballet. You have the Royal Academy dance, which comes out of England. You have the Bournonville, which comes out of Denmark. And you have Cicchetti. And it's really about how, for instance, there may be 5 arabesques, but in the Cicchetti, the first arabesque has a different arm than, say, the Bournonville or something like that. And then for the Haitian, I didn't know, the only thing that I knew was what this particular person, his name was George Howard, taught.
Okay.
Okay. And you had your warm-ups and you had the vocabulary. And, he would come like maybe in April and he'd have him for 2 months. And you couldn't do it if you didn't do your ballet. There was no cross. If you didn't have that foundation, you couldn't go into that. And then she would always have a jazz routine that she taught. Okay, so jazz wasn't something that you studied, you just did it. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but ballet was the basis. She said, if you master ballet, you can pretty much do any kind of dance.
So you went from the Elma school and the next was
Was Juilliard.